Hey guys, it's Heather. So today I am doing my very requested video, which is my brow routine. So I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. I did do both eyebrows. I went in detail on what I do, and I've been promising it because I was waiting. I was hesitant to put it up until I found like my perfect brow products, and I found them and I love them and they're holy grail, and I'm not searching for any more brow products. So I really hope you guys enjoy. Brows are very personal. Some people like thinner brows, some people like really thicker brows. I like mine kind of in the middle. And I have gone through a definite brow journey. I over tweezed them. I got them all out of wax, and that will literally tweeze any little brow hair that I see because I can't stand it. It just makes my face look dirty and I don't like it. So that's part of the reason why I over tweeze them. So definitely be mindful of that. And if you're trying to grow them in, just be strong, just look past them and just go with the shape that you want so you don't over tweeze them, because over tweezing them is no fun. And luckily my brows grow really fast, because if they didn't, oh my gosh, I would have to use serums and all that stuff, and I didn't have to use any of that. But I will link to my 2 brow videos I have up on my channel, kind of like my journey and progress of growing them in case you're curious, in case you're new to my channel and didn't even know that not that long ago I didn't have any brows. I'm not going to babble this intro on and on, so I'm going to go. If you want to see how I do my brows, then definitely keep on watching. Okay guys, so we are going to do the brows. I'm going to go ahead and show you both of my brows just for the sake of showing them. So this video might be a little bit long, so grab a snack or, you know, whatever you guys want to do. But I'm going to go in detail about my brows just because I constantly get questions about them. So if you watched me for a good while, you know that I used to not have any brows. They were horrible. I don't even know if I have any videos where you could see my brows anymore. I may have 1 or 2, but I can insert some pictures. But I do have my brow videos, like life after Hurricane Brow, and then I have a brow update, and it kind of shows pictures and kind of what I did. So basically they are where I want them now. My brows grow extremely fast. This one grows like a little bit of a different direction than this one does, but they do grow very fast. So I used to go get them waxed, and I highly recommend that, like, until you get the shape that you want, or, you know, if you're unable to keep the shape that you want at home, definitely go get them waxed. I've never personally got them threaded, but I enjoy waxing. I've done waxing for years, and I really like waxing just because, you know, if you find someone good that can shape them for you, it just makes them look so clean, because I get a lot of hair like up here and all the little blonde, like kind of like peach fuzz hair, and it's just no fun. But the waxing takes care of that. Now I have thought about trying to invest in some wax, like good wax from like Sally's or something for home, but I just, at home to maintain them, I just tweeze them. It's just easier for me to do than try to wax them, because you don't want to wax your eyebrows off. That's why I would recommend going to a professional. Now, I've said before, my brows literally will grow in like a week. I mean, they will start to become, you know, really bushy, like in the middle here. So it got expensive to drive an hour to the girl that I had found and pay the $12 every time that I go. So I just kind of maintain them at home now. I don't go get them waxed anymore, but again, I recommend that you do. I also recommend, if you're going to do your brows at home, that you definitely, like, if you're trying to grow them in, and like I said, I will link to those videos below where I explained and you saw kind of like my journey. But if you do your brows at home, I suggest filling them in the shape that you want, and then tweezing everything outside of that shape just to shape them. Now this one, I got a little tweezer happy not that long ago, and I've just basically been filling it in how I want, and now this part is growing in pretty fast. So I don't have to use serums or anything like that. My brows just, luckily, they just grow very fast. It's frustrating at times, but when growing them in, it does pay off. So I'm going to show you basically my favorite brow tools and how I fill them in. So let's go ahead and start now. So the first thing that I recommend, and like I said, I'm going to go into just like mad detail here, so if you feel free to fast forward, because I know I can talk. Okay, so the first thing the most important thing is definitely invest in a spoolie. Now this one is from, I believe, Walmart, and it's a double-ended one. I never use this side, and any spoolie will work. You can clean up old mascara wand and clean it up really good, and you can use that as a spoolie. Oh, sorry, my neck itches. You could do that as well. You can buy a pack at Sally's. Just get a spoolie. I highly recommend it. I never used to believe in it, but they do wonders, especially if your brows grow crazy. So the first thing that I always do before I fill them in is I always brush through them. And that just kind of ensures the shape that I'm wanting to go. Now I've already tweezed them. I usually tweeze them like every couple of days, because like I said, they will start to grow in, especially like right in here in the middle. I've already done that. I've already tweezed them. So basically the tweezers that I love are the Anastasia tweezers. I like Tweezerman. Just find you a really good pair of tweezers. I like the slanted tweezers, and just go through and tweeze your hairs out. I also like to use the baby oil gel. I always apply that before, because my skin is extremely dry, like in the brow area, and I don't want to just go in like with just tweezers alone. That will tear and gut my skin up, just because it's so dry. So I always put the baby oil gel. You can find it really cheap. I usually get the Equate brand from Walmart, and I just apply that and I tweeze, and yes, it does get very oily in there, but it does hydrate and my skin doesn't get all tore up. So I do recommend that as well. So okay, so we're brushed through them. So now you can see like my brows, I mean, I could technically just kind of put some gel through them and go, but we want to define them today. So let's go ahead and start. So after you comb through them, I'm going to go in with my newfound love, which I've talked about in, I believe, my last favorites video. And this is the Anastasia Perfect Brow Pencil in Dark Brown. Now this is just a baby that came with one of the palettes that I own. I will definitely invest in this, because this is like phenomenal at getting in, you know, getting this sharp edge kind of like in the inner part of my brows. Are sisters, not twins. So we're not going for, you know, we're just filling them in and making them look pretty, okay? All right, so this is what I'm going to use. This formula is kind of like on the drier side, but it just, because of that, it just really lines the inner part. It's wonderful. Haven't found a brow pencil like it. So, because I never used to use brow pencils. I used to always just use powder, but now I use all kind of stuff. So I'm just going to take the pencil, and I'm just going to kind of outline in just small strokes. As you can see, you don't need to press too hard with it. I mean, you can see if you just press softly, you know, they're very light strokes, but you definitely don't want to press too hard. You don't want to go crazy with it. And I just do the inner part of that with it. And then I take my spoolie, always go back to my spoolie, and just kind of comb it out. And this just kind of defines that underneath the brow. So I'm going to do this brow too, and this one's a little bit more defined on its own. And if you see that your, you know, if you're not seeing, you know, like results with it, just press a little harder. But you definitely, because if you press harder, I mean, it really, you know, it really puts a lot of pigment down. So, and I'm also, I don't like the look of like really sculpted out brows, so I don't go in with concealer or anything like that. You can feel free to do that when you're done, but I don't like the look of that. That's just personal preference. So I'm just going to brush through them. So I just did that kind of, you know, lightly, and yeah, so we got that going. All right. The next thing I do is I go in with another Anastasia product, and this is the Brow Wiz in Medium Brown. And what I do, what I like with this one is to kind of define the top edge. So what I like to do, my trick with that is take in my spoolie and I just brush these hairs very gently down, so you can kind of see the shape, the natural shape that your brow is in. And then I just take this Brow Wiz and I just lightly kind of define that shape. Just like that. And then I go in and I brush the brow like that. Okay, so now I'm going to do this side. Oh, my hairs, my little baby's hairs are wanting to come in here. So yeah, again, just brush them down. And even if you have really sparse hairs, if you brush those hairs down, even if it's just a little bit of hairs that you have, you are definitely going to see a shape. And that's what I like to define. And again, these, I just do short strokes. And you can see right there, look how much better they look already. Okay, so basically if you have any sparse areas, you can kind of go in with the Brow Wiz, which I do sometimes. I mean, I don't have too terrible sparse areas, but okay. So once you got that, again, you know, I always just, you know, go back in with my spoolie and just kind of spread the product around. If you got a little heavy-handed, you can kind of spread it out with this. Okay, so that's basically, I mean, you can leave it here, but I always go one step further, and I go in with the Anastasia brow powder, which I've used for years, and this is in Brunette Dark Brown. And what I do with this is I just kind of fill them in, because I use the pencils to kind of outline, and then I use this to kind of fill them in. So I'm going to go in with my MAC 266 angled brush, and I always go in with the lighter side. And I do want to try the Anastasia brow brush as well. I just haven't picked it up yet. And I go with the lighter side, and I just kind of, you know, put it in the inner part here. Take a little bit more and do this side. Just kind of flick it up, and then I go in with the darker shade and just kind of move through these brows. Just boom, look at that. I know in my last video somebody had said that they thought it was funny how I always say boom. I don't know why I always do that. I'm just a freak, I guess. But as you can see, what I pretty much do is just kind of follow the natural shape. I don't try to thicken them up anymore. I just kind of follow the natural shape that they're growing. I don't like the look of really fake brows. It's just not my preference. And then I just kind of comb through them. So as you can see, they look a lot more defined and super easy to do. Okay, so the next thing I do, what I always do is I go in with the Benefit Gimme Brow in Medium Deep, and this just kind of seals the kind of longer hairs. It does kind of fill them in even more. So I'm just going to go in with this. I use this in place of brow gel, but you can use brow gel if you want. I just like the way this kind of defines them even more, and these keep my brows in place. I don't have to worry about my brows going anywhere. And this I just kind of work in fast strokes and kind of like an upward motion, just to kind of get the most natural look like that. Alright, that's my brows. I told you guys, it's super easy. And then what I always do is I always just kind of go in and lay some of these little brow hairs at the tail down like that. So, and then if you want, you can go in with brow gel, like if you know, if you don't think that your brows are going to hold up. And sometimes I will go in with my Anastasia clear brow gel. It just depends. I don't put a lot of this, but I mainly concentrate this on the tail, because the tail of my brows never want to stay down. Never. Okay. Just like so. And then I always go back to my little trusty spoolie. Okay, so that's my brows, guys. As you can see, this one does kind of grow up a little bit, and this one doesn't. Sometimes I'll fill that in straight up, but it looks a little fake, so I just kind of like embrace this. I mean, nobody's brows are perfect, but that is my staples. Now, I never used to be really big into brows, just because brows can get kind of difficult, but like I said, my #1 tips are follow the natural shape and kind of go. I mean, you can use brow stencils. I mean, I never use these, but you can, to guide you if you're a little bit lost. But that's it. I mean, it's so simple. So I'm really happy with my brow routine. I love, you know, these brows. They're just super easy. And then the last step to do is to highlight your brow bone, just to really further define them. And as you can see, they're still sculpted, but I don't have to, you know, carve them out with concealer. I just don't like the look of that. But I'm going to go in with some like a brow highlight, and I love MAC Shroom, which I just have this in a limited edition palette from the CCO. So that Shroom right there, you can use whatever brow highlight is your favorite. And I usually just take a E70 brush from Sigma, and I usually just kind of go up underneath the brows, and as you can see, that just adds even more lift. Super, super pretty. And I always do this even if I'm not wearing shadow, so. So your brow routine is done. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that this guided you and gave you what you've been wanting to see, because I've been getting so many requests. That's my brow routine. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will definitely link to the videos where I had, like, you know, where I started with no brows. I'd already started, the first video that I did, I'd already started growing them in, and I had pictures and stuff, so you can see all of that. I will link those below. That way you guys can see, you know, like, my journey. I mean, I've been doing this, I believe, since 2013, or maybe even 2012. So it was quite a journey to grow them in. So definitely be mindful of over tweezing, and if you need guidance, definitely go to a professional. That's what I ended up doing. And yes, they look horrible as they grow in, but now that they're grown in, I don't have to fill them in if I don't want to. So that's what I love about it. I can just get up and go. But oh, if you've seen my brows, maybe I'll insert a picture right here. Before, they were horrible. So this is them now. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!